Twin City Digital Sales.
All I hear, go get the money, so I go get it. Hate means I do something right, so I'ma let him. Yeah, I'ma let him, yeah, I'ma let him. I hit the nail on the head, yeah, I'ma let him. All I hear, go get the money, so I go get it. Hate means I do something right, so I'ma let him. Yeah, I'ma let him, yeah, I'ma let him. I hit the nail on the head, yeah, I'ma let him. Early bird, go get the worm in the dirt. I can show you what I'm worth. My hands in the dirt. From where they look when you not. A hand in your purse. Hell if you think I'm last, say last should be first. Go ahead and go feast your eyes. Chefing up, cooking them pies, leaving no slice. Believe on that guy who in demand and who got supplies. You want.
Real talk disclaimer. The information provided by the host on this platform is for education and awareness purposes only. All information provided on this platform is provided in good faith. We make no representation or warranty of any kind, express or implied, regarding the accuracy, validity, and reliability of information shared by the host or show guests. The views and opinions of guests on the show do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the host of Real Talk. Under no circumstances do the host, show guests, sponsors, or affiliates assume responsibility for the actions of any viewer.
You laugh at that every time, don't you? Don't it amaze you? It amazed me too.
I don't know why I
got to a point where I tickled at that too. Welcome to Real Talk. Pastor Z and our wonderful co-host, Miss Bishop T. We're glad to have all of you to join us on today. You will want to share, tell everybody to join us tonight. We have a wonderful show lined up for you on tonight. Hello, Mother Latham. How are you, Mother Latham? Hello, Miss Duckett. How are you doing? What's up, Brother Davis? Glad to have you on. Everyone, share. We're glad to have all of you on today. Several ways you can keep up with Real Talk. We're here every Thursday at 6:15. We're on Facebook Live. That's right. Catch us right here on Facebook Live. If you're unable to get on Facebook, then we have another way that you can connect with us. That's with YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. That's Real Talk with Pastor Z and Bishop T. We also have a Twitter. Our Twitter page is R Talk with Z and T at R Talk with Z _ T. Okay. We want all of you to join us. We want you to come on in. Welcome. Hello, my good friend and classmate, Miss Mary Smitherman. Glad to know, Mama, that you are doing good. Glad to know that you're doing good. We have tonight as our guest, first time as a guest, but she's been a part of our audience, is Miss Heather Brothers New. She's going to be our guest on tonight. She's a candidate for the mayor's position here in the city of Gadsden. So we look forward to talking to her in just a few minutes. But before we bring you local news and talk to the locals, let's talk about some of this national news. Roe versus Wade. What are your thoughts, Supreme Court?
Supreme Court. Well, I don't know if you're gonna hit on tonight, but let's start on a high note if we can and come that down. Tundra Jackson was sworn in today. That's
She
a good.
was.
That's a high note for that.
Maybe a couple of days too late.
Well, she's got her term.
Yeah.
Can I plead the fifth?
Can I tell you something I saw, and I don't know if it's if I heard it right. Then I think I saw where it was talking about taking all the Plan Bs off the shelves real soon.
I think so. Yeah, and it was, but the reason for that, aren't people starting to just buy in bulk?
I guess so.
Okay, I am pro-life, but I think that I think that women should have, or I think women should have their right to
Everybody,
with
I mean,
their
it's your body.
And then when I talk about pro-life, I think that pro-life should be pro-life. I'm pro-life at whatever stage of life it is. And I think that women should have that right. So, and I think that we have a right to choose pro-choice.
Should have the right.
If I can be pro-choice and pro-life at the same, I really just, that's where I am. That's where I am. So, yeah.
But you know what amazes me? And I know somebody may attack me on this. You tell a woman what she can and can't do with her body, but you allow others to do what they want to do with theirs.
When you say others, you mean men? Oh,
men and women.
Okay, I got you. I
mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you got folks like what's his name, Jenner.
Yeah.
Some people they transforming into, and I listen. You do what you want to do. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, you can't be a hypocrite. Now here's the thing. You so concerned about people getting rid of a child that's in their body, but then you ain't so harsh on these gun laws that are killing people. I mean, what we doing? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what about, because I know that's a touchy issue, and I know you want to plead the fifth on that.
Well, yeah, but I also was about to say as well, and I think as it relates to the Supreme Court, I think that the fact that that right has been taken, or they ruled on it, that there could be some other rights that stand in jeopardy.
But what about an 18-year-old able to buy a shotgun?
Exactly.
They don't think so harsh about that, though. Okay, now what about now? Have you seen where they come out with the vaccinations for the monkeypox now?
Yeah, I've saw that.
You notice it's in the United States and it is booming in the bigger cities like California. I mean, so do you there was a big conspiracy about the COVID vaccination. A lot of people was concerned about that. This here comes something else. So what you think about that?
About the monkeypox vaccine?
Yeah.
I think that it's the big COVID for me. COVID is probably the beginning of many situations to come. And so now it's monkeypox. So now I don't know if I'm gonna run out and get the monkeypox
Yeah.
vaccine. Like I've tried to keep up. I'm 3 shots in. Tried to keep up with the COVID
COVID. Yeah.
vaccination. So,
But it's a big concern because it's scary. If you've seen the disease, you don't want it. But then people popping up with these vaccinations that they was very leery about the COVID, and now here comes another vaccination. It's watch and pray is all I can tell you. Watch and pray.
yeah. Well, do you know what cause? I mean, how you catch
The monkey.
small monkeypox? I know I heard that sexually and couple of, but do you really know? I can't. I know it's not airborne. That's what I know.
No, it ain't airborne.
So I can pretty much.
I heard some people theories on it, but I care not share.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
we're taking care of some of the national news, and now we want to talk about some local things. And tonight our guest is Miss Heather Brothers New. I want everybody to give a warm welcome to a candidate for mayor of the city of Gadsden, Miss Heather New. Hello, Miss New. How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
We are
Good.
wonderful. We're glad to have you. Everybody flood the timeline with hearts. Show some real talk love to Miss Heather New. First time here on our Real Talk as our guest. And we're glad to have you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. So the qualifying is over, and there's a whole heap of folk
There's a bunch of us.
in the municipal election. And are you the only female running for mayor?
I am.
Okay, I was trying to think. I didn't think you're the only female running for mayor. And well, first of all, best wishes to you,
Thank you.
and congratulations for qualifying and running for that position. So, you being the first time guest here on our show, people want to know who is Heather Brothers New. Can you tell everybody who you are? Just give us an introduction of yourself.
Sure. You might have to cut me off. Sometimes I get a little loquacious. Don't know when to stop. So I always like to start out when I talk to a new group. I like to tell people I'm one of the few people you'll ever meet that had 4 sisters and they were all brothers.
I like that.
It's not in the style that you were referring to either earlier, but so our maiden name was Brothers. There were 5 of us girls. My mom was a single mom, raised us. We got teased all the time. We went to church and we were sister brothers when we went out in a group. But here comes the brothers, sisters. I could not wait to grow up and get married and get a new last name. God's got a sense of humor because now my last name is New.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, so I was born and raised in Altoona. I grew up in a tar paper shack that DHR might not approve of these days, but my mom did the best she could. She had a 10th grade education. She had struggles. Her mother died young. Her father was a wonderful man when he was sober, but not so much when he got into the alcohol. And so she quit school in 10th grade and took care of her younger brothers and sisters. And she had an incredible work ethic, and she was very, very smart. And she raised me to believe I could do whatever I wanted to do, and that education was key. And she was absolutely right about that. I poured myself into education, loved school, and I grew up believing that I could. And so every opportunity that was offered to me, I always wanted to try. I went to West End Elementary and high school, graduated in '93, went on to Gadsden State. I true blue Cardinal. I love Gadsden State. I believe in its purpose and as an economic engine in our community. And then I went year-round, summer to summer, at Gadsden State, and then I transferred to JSU. While I was at JSU, I finished about a year there. I lacked a year to finish, and I became pregnant with my son. And you were talking about pro-life, pro-choice. For me, I had a choice, and I chose life. I had not the most wealthy support system out there, but I had a loving support system, and I was very, very fortunate to have that. So I went to work. I went to work full time, and if you look at my resume, I look like I have no idea what I want to do when I grow up, because what I do know is I don't want to do the same thing for the rest of my life. So my first job was I was an obituary clerk at the Gadsden Times. Mashonda Stewart, she and I traded nights and worked obituaries. People were literally dying for us to write about them. A great joke. Supposed to be funny.
I got you. I'm following you.
And so from there, I became a stringer writer for the Gadsden Times. That's what I thought I was going to do in college. I thought I was going to be a writer. Didn't. God also has a sense of humor, because it's nowhere near that. I went to work full time after I had my son in the graphic arts department. Art was my minor, and so I learned a tremendous deal about graphic design and pagination and things like that. I got hired away to work for Glenn Williams for his ad agency, and then I moved away for a period of time. From 99 until 2007, I lived in Wilmington, North Carolina, Bedford, Virginia, and Powhatan, Virginia. And during those stints, I was married to someone. What I did learn is how much I missed home, and couldn't wait to come back. But while I was away, I worked as an art director for a national trade magazine. And then I had an incredible experience in Bedford, Virginia, to work for a water and sewer authority in their engineering department, and then transitioned into their IT department. When I lived in Powhatan, Virginia, I worked for the Goochland County, Virginia Fire Rescue Department. So I've had a little bit of opportunity to dabble in local government and see how individual departments work and how budgets work. When I moved back, I took a job with John Freeman at Freeman Land. I became his business manager and worked there for a year. And while I was there, the job opening with the Red Cross came open. And so since I had at the fire rescue department, I was their business manager, but also their emergency operations center manager. So I had some experience in disaster mitigation and response. So I was intrigued by that opportunity. So I worked for several years, from 2008 until 2011 at the Red Cross. Our chapter oversaw the activities of Calhoun, Cleburne, Etowah, and Cherokee County. And if you remember, April 27, 2011, we had one of the worst disasters we've ever seen in our community. And I was honored to lead that disaster response, but those things take a lot out of you. They're very fulfilling once they're over, but when you're in the midst of them, I apologize, that's my driveway alarm. We might need to unplug that. But while you're in the midst of them, sometimes you don't know if the light at the end of the tunnel is a train going to hit you, or if it's daylight at the other end. After that disaster statewide, the Red Cross they functionalized, and all of our positions were eliminated. We had the opportunity to apply for. I had an opportunity to apply for the same position I had, with no employees, which didn't sound very appealing, and since I'd had 7 previously, or I could have applied for a statewide fundraising position, which is what I did. So I worked from August until November of that year in the statewide fundraising position, and around August, well, actually probably around June, the chamber job came open. Tom Quinn announced his retirement, and Blake and I were sitting out by a lake on a pier fishing, and he was like, "Honey, this job's made for you." And I thought, I'm not qualified. I'll never be accepted for that job, but I applied anyway. And I was right. I was not qualified and not accepted and not interviewed. And they were looking for somebody specifically with chamber experience. And so, a long story short, that didn't work out. And when they re-advertised the position, they decided they wanted to recruit someone with nonprofit management experience, because the chamber is also a nonprofit. And so I reapplied again, and fortunately at that time I was chosen. So I started to work there November 2011, and I resigned at the end of May to dedicate myself full time to running for mayor.
Okay. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So what is it within you that make you feel like you should be chosen to be mayor? Why do you want to be mayor of Gadsden? What is it, the direction that you want to take this city in? Is it not going in the direction that you would like to see it go in? And if you're chosen as mayor, what direction will you take it in? What kind of ideas, if you don't mind sharing with us? What are your plans?
I'd be happy to speak on that. So your first question is why do I want to do this? And I joke that "want's" a strong word. I feel compelled maybe, but I do want to do this because I love Gadsden. I love our home. I love the people here. The positions that I've worked in, especially at the Red Cross, that really just exemplified for me that our people are our greatest resource. Hands down, we talk about the falls, we talk about the river, we talk about the hiking, bike. No, our people are incredible. They're resourceful. They're resilient. We've gone through massive loss and massive decline, and our people are still good. They still give. They still show up and show out anytime there's a massive need out there. And so I love our community so much. I see the opportunity that we have. Being in economic development, I have strong partnerships throughout the state, and I've traveled to other cities inside and outside of the state. I've worked with other economic developers, and I've seen opportunity that we have and we're not capitalizing on. Being in the position at the chamber, I also saw a lot of things that I didn't agree with. I felt like we could do more transparently, that we could include people in, and at some point your belly just gets full and you got to do it. You got to step out there on faith. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to even pretend to tell you God has promised me this job. There's no possible way God does that. But when God tells you, you got to step, you got to step. And if this is not where he's going to use me, he's going to use me somewhere remarkable, I know, because I have given up everything. I've given up my career with the chamber, and it was a comfortable life, but I believe in Gadsden and I believe in the people that much. One of my first initiatives, obviously, is we've got to reinstate funding for the school system. Education is key. Education is what got me out of poverty, and that's what will rescue our kids. Our kids are incredible. We have brilliant children, and I know you've had a bunch of them on your show. I am a huge fan. Just Drake Kirkpatrick is one of my heroes. I mean, that kid comes back and shows up. He gives back. He just pours back into this community in more ways than just 21 kids. I mean, he invests back here. We have kids that have come through Gadsden City High that are doing remarkable things. We have doctors, lawyers, just that are brilliant children, and they want to come back. They want to help. They want to be a part of this community, but we're not giving them an opportunity to do so.
Right.
But so first and foremost, I am a strong proponent of education. All three of my children graduated from Gadsden City High, and I'm proud of that. When I moved back here in 2007, I chose my home in Edenwood because I wanted my son, Quentin, but we're a blended family. Blake and I got married in 2009, I'm pretty sure. I might be in trouble. I think it's 2009. It's been a minute, so but when I moved back in 2007, I wanted to live in downtown Gadsden because I wanted my son to go to Gadsden City High. And he went to the middle school for a period of time. And when I say he endured the middle school, it's not because it was a bad school, but it's not the ideal facility. Like, we can all admit, our middle schools and our elementary schools, they need a lot of help.
Yeah.
They have great teachers and they have great kids, but we're sending them to school in some dilapidated situations there. But we, you know, I toured Gadsden City High and I learned, Quinn took AP Latin. I mean, he just, the opportunities there and the diversity there, the culture that was there. I knew he would find his people, and he did. I mean, he thrived there, and that is the best decision that I made, was choosing Gadsden City Schools. So education is key. Education leads directly into workforce development, and we've got to support Gadsden State. Gadsden State is on the verge of confirming a Center for Advanced Manufacturing, which is going to be a huge recruitment tool for us. We've got to start recruiting jobs for tomorrow. There's a huge difference between attracting jobs and attractive jobs. We've got to be going after jobs that we want to do and that are going to pay us well when we do them. No.
Okay, I like that. And let me stop you right there, because I want you to stay right there for just a few minutes.
Sure.
Attracting jobs and attractive jobs.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to like the attractive jobs. We want them to come into our city. We're looking at steel plant closing down in 2000. You're looking at Goodyear that just closed down most recently, and you have all of these abandoned buildings. And then you looked at the rendering. That I think that is pretty much a lot of questions that a lot of you all, especially, and council members that's running for council, is going to be asked the question about the rendering.
Definitely.
And you got people on both sides of that. And you got people that they were looking for more jobs. They're looking for jobs in this city. Jobs have left. People are tired of traveling an hour away to make a decent living. We lost them. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. All right. We're tired. People are tired of traveling hours away or hour away to make a decent living when we live in a city that should be thriving. So, I know people saying, well, we didn't want the render. We don't want that, but you don't have much more. And I know a lot of people that lived in that area was upset because of their property value. But are you more concerned about your property value, or people breaking in your home, taking what you got because they can't afford to get what they want, because there's nothing here for them to do? I mean, think about it. I mean, crime goes up when people can't make a decent living.
You're absolutely right.
So
when people are hopeless, they do desperate things. You're absolutely right. And you've got that's a very good point, and I'm glad that you brought it up. I was opposed, and I continue to be opposed to the rendering plant. It's a necessary industry, and it's important to the poultry industry as a whole, and we consume a great deal of poultry. It's not the right fit for our community because of population density as a whole, but a lot of people were concerned about the odor at the airport. I do believe that technology would have very likely subdued the vast majority of the odor in the plant. The transportation routes gave me grave concern because you had one in particular that would be traveling for 2.5 hours. So once it entered the edges of our county, it was going to put a new stressor on our infrastructure, and not just the roadways and the bridges where it would potentially spill, but also our public safety, who's often the first ones that have to respond to those activities. We already have a significant amount of spills here. Fortunately, those spills are fresh, and I hate to use that word, but they don't smell quite the same, and they don't create quite the same cleanup experience that has to go into place once the decay has begun. So transportation routes were a huge issue for me, because it would not have, those transportation routes where those spills would happen wouldn't have been at the facility, at the airport. Those would have been all throughout our city. I took great pains and tracked those transportation routes and found that from the east, from the west, and from the north. The only point of entry that it wouldn't be coming from was from the south, but we would be experiencing spills as far away as Walnut Grove, or anytime a stop short, it would have impacted all of us greatly. But the population density is a huge issue, and also that airport property is prime real estate. I'm not talking about the residents that live around there. I'm talking about for aeronautic purposes. And we have failed to whatsoever market the airport for aeronautical expansion and aeronautical industry to come in. And so one of the things that I intend to do is we're going to work in concert with our surrounding cities and our county, and we're going to revamp our economic development structures. We're going to have a one statutory entity that's subject to open meetings and open records that will be transparent, that will work countywide. And if it's the right fit in Gadsden, we trust it's the right fit in Gadsden. And if it's the right fit outside of Gadsden, we're going to trust them that it's the right fit outside of Gadsden. They will not be beholden to any one city for funding. They will not be beholden to any one mayoral administration to do what that administration wants them to do specifically. So that way, it's going to give them the autonomy and the authority and embolden them to go out and recruit the jobs that are going to bring our youth back, that are going to make us proud to be from Gadsden. Advanced manufacturing can still be welding and some of the pipe fitting and the traditional jobs that we think of, but you're programming robots to do this type of work. The hard manual labor, the dark, dank smell, the whatever people envision when they think about manufacturing, those days are going away, and we need to be looking toward things like electric vehicle production and the parts and pieces needed for electric vehicle production, the batteries specifically. There's tremendous opportunity for us to embrace the rail project that's going to connect us with Mobile and the port.
But let me ask you this question. But do we have do you think that we can have the people in place to
yes,
get the job done?
100%.
Because apparently we haven't got the job done in past years. And let me say this. And I know the popular decision is to be against the rendering. Mm-hmm. Because I think majority of Etowah County has been what they have heard, and what they versus most of us. Well, we don't really know. We just have received this information because a lot of people was against it, and so I do believe where one stand on this rendering situation will determine the support they will receive come election time.
Well, it wouldn't matter if it was an unpopular position. That's the position I would take.
And that's what I want to ask. If it was
I'm a certified economic developer. I've got certifications from the U.S. Chamber, from Auburn University, from multiple entities, from the Economic Development Association of Alabama. My education tells me this is not the right project for our population density. And
okay, so what do you say to the people that say, because I heard people higher up say this, that's just what we attract though. I mean, when you look at the Tysons and when you look at Cooks and when you look at Gold Kiss, whatever, these chicken plants and these rendering plants.
That's what has come to us.
Right. So how do we get anything different? Because I mean, I know that we have people go out to recruit, but from my understanding, when they look at our area and they see what works in our area, that is it. That's all that desire to come here, buy a property and want to invest into the city of Gadsden. I don't know.
That's not the way that I see it, and I respect your position on that, but that's not at all.
I'm just asking the question. It's not my position. It's just what I've heard, and I'm asking you.
We have in TIVO, we have Fairer, we have Choice Fabricators, we have Stamp Products, we have tiered suppliers. So clearly tiered suppliers are interested in us. They have come to us. They have not come to us. We've not announced a tiered supplier since the death of Mike McCain. We have an opportunity to recreate our economic development structure so that there's autonomy and authority to go after the types of jobs that we want. We have fiber. We have dedicated fiber into our downtown area. So tech jobs are no longer, we don't have the barriers that we used to have to tech jobs, but we haven't seen any interest whatsoever in this current administration to pursue anything tech related. I don't know if there's a lack of understanding. I don't know if there's a lack of ambition. I can't tell you why we haven't gone after them before, but I can tell you they're out there. I can tell you the field is ripe, and that if we invest, we do need to expand that fiber. We need to build a business incubator. We need to focus on building small minority-owned businesses and women-owned businesses in our community that have a tech background, that can expand into jobs of the future, that might start with a simple idea or a couple of apps or some software that makes something in our lives easier, that solves a wicked problem for one company in particular, but that they can grow into a business, or like many of the entrepreneurs that I've met, that they sell that business, they let somebody else grow that business enormously, and then they start the next business. We've just got to get outside of our current Rust Belt box and look at what opportunities are out there. And I 100% disagree that we don't have the people. We have the people, but if we continue to tell our people that we're not smart enough to do those jobs, we're putting our people down. We just talked about all the students that have moved away and would love an opportunity to come back. One of the top reasons we would lose a physician that we were trying to help recruit in this area is because we didn't have a job for their spouse, and their job, the spouse's job, was typically tech related. And so we've got tremendous opportunity. We are so close to Huntsville, and I'm so tired of people saying if we could just be like Chattanooga. I want Chattanooga to be like, if we could just be like Gadsden. We got to stop putting ourselves in this little box and saying this is all we can do. That is a lie. That is an absolute, and I got a choice curse word that I can usually use for that. That is not true. If we continue to tell our youth they're too dumb, we can't recruit great jobs, they're going to leave. They're going to keep leaving. I don't blame them. It's time that we embrace the intelligence and the talent that we do have here, and we help build a future for them here.
Right.
So while we're at that point, so basically, technically, do you think I hear you saying it's not so much that Gadsden is not ready. Some of it that Gadsden is not ready, or do we put it on the administration that has just not gone and done the recruiting, or like you said, brought the attractive jobs to this place, to this city? Is it that Gadsden is not ready? And secondly, or is it that the current administration has not done the work? Because is that also a part of recruiting, like through even the governor, with these trips with the governor, as the governor is doing recruiting or whatever for the state of Alabama? If you can.
I think that goes along with what Mr. Cole's saying. Do we have people who go out and recruit, and we need someone in the mayor's office to do that? I think that goes along with what you're saying as well, Bishop.
Well, I think if we have a functional economic development council, we don't have to have someone in the mayor's office to go do that. So let me back up with, I think saying that we don't have the people to do those jobs is an easy out. I think that's an easy excuse. I can't pretend to know what the current administration has or hasn't done, but I can tell you that I've seen similar sized and smaller sized cities with less attractions, with less population, with what would appear to be less opportunity, attract these kinds of jobs. Jackson County got Google. You're going to tell me we can't? Jackson County did. You know, I think if you always tell yourself you can't, you never will. And my philosophy is if you're going to tell me I can't just get out of the way and let me go, just, we're going to show you that we can. So I can't, I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what our current administration has and hasn't done, because I don't know. I haven't seen that activity. When it comes to the state recruiting, the way that economic development happens, the way that site selection happens now is tremendously different from the way that it happened 10, 12, 15 years ago, in that technology has allowed site selectors that work for corporations or even corporations themselves to be able to shop a city before they ever step foot in that city. And so the Economic Development Association of Alabama and the Economic Development Partnership of Alabama work in concert with the Department of Commerce. It's not the governor, like she's making appointments to her cabinet, which, Greg Canfield is the Department of Commerce appointment there, and he has done an incredible job. Those Made in Alabama red emblems you see everywhere, that was, as simple as that is, we had never been marketed. We had never had an icon, like a logo to market our state. Something as simple as that. But that these corporations and these site selectors will use technology. They'll go look at the website that hosts a database of all available industrial properties in the state. It's our responsibility to feed that information to the state database and make sure that there's as much information there as possible, and to try to pull their interest to our community. Well, then they see a property that meets all of the criteria that they're looking for, the rail or the gas line size or the water, sewer, proximity to interstate, anything like that. When they find a property that matches what they like, they can directly contact our local folks. Most often they give the project specs to the Department of Commerce, and they say, send this out to everybody that fits our specs. At that point, we can look at it. If we got property that matches those specifications, we can look at it and say, yes, this would be a good fit for us. It would actually bolster, some of the plans that we have. The job number looks good for us. The return on investment of whatever incentive they're going to be asking from us is going to look good. We can decide that this looks like something we might want to go after, and then you respond to it. And then once you respond, then the company has the opportunity to start directly connecting with you. They don't usually even visit here until that point, until you've kind of said, yeah, we're kind of interested in you, and then they'll come on in if it looks like it's going to be a good fit. Before you would see folks come shop the market, ride the market before they ever reached out to anybody whatsoever. And so the model has changed. You also did a lot more trade shows and a lot more physical legwork going out and recruiting. Now the recruitment tool is you've got to look as amazing as possible electronically. You've got to have a great kit that you send back out that really shows them things that, such as we're investing in our educational systems. We've got X number of graduates coming out of school every year. Here's how we're getting them trained in technical positions. Here's, the scholarships that we're offering, the dual enrollment projects that we have going on. You got the sell is a completely different sell than it used to be. Does that make sense?
But so let me ask a question in everything that you've said. So is Gadsden not meeting the specifications?
No, I think there's probably lots of opportunities that we meet specifications for.
So what now? Repeat what you said.
I think there's probably a lot of opportunities out there that we meet specifications for. I
did.
I know, when Mike McCain was alive and running the IDA, we were ex officio. We served ex officio on each other's boards. We had no vote on each other's boards, but I attended his board meetings. He attended the chamber's board meetings, just so that we had a continuous flow of information. And he was an incredible mentor of mine. And they would be working on 16 to 18 projects any given month that at various levels, whether it was just we responded to an RFI or we're expecting a site visit. And so, no, I think there's activity ongoing, and there's activity ongoing now I believe as well. There are, I'm not privy to that information anymore directly, and I haven't been since Mike passed away. But being across when I worked across the hall, there are people that got lost and confused, and they come to the wrong side. I know there's some activity going on, but again, that's not information that I have access to or can tell you why we're not getting anything or what is possibly on the cusp of landing. But I can tell you we have property, and it's very, very marketable property. And I think as well, we've got to get on board with supporting the marketing effort of the mega site, the Little Canoe Creek mega site. We're gonna land something incredible there. And I think the county commission's done an incredible job being patient, waiting for the right project, and making sure that they protect that, because there aren't a lot of 1,000-acre plus sites with onto rail. They're Advantage Site certified already, and now with the investment through the Alabama Growing Alabama tax credit that Norfolk Southern has made into building it, making it pad ready, we're incredibly competitive. Marilyn Lott did an amazing job, had the gas lines relocated. There's a substation possibly completed already that Alabama Power has put in. We've got power, we've got gas, we've got water and sewer, and an agreement from Rainbow City. Could have been an agreement with the city of Gadsden, but again, I'm not privy to those meetings, so I don't know what happened there. But the MOU that they have now with Rainbow City is when they land the project, it's going to get annexed to Rainbow City, and so we're missing opportunity left and right, and that's evident. You can read the news and see we're missing opportunity.
I guess I hear you saying that, but I guess what's not connecting for me is why are we missing the opportunity?
You're gonna have to ask a person that's responsible for recruiting why we're missing the opportunity.
So with you, okay. So with you, what is your plan? And did I miss that for making us ready, or for us seeing anything different than what we're seeing right now?
Right. That goes back to the countywide economic development council that's going to be autonomous, that's going to be legislatively funded through an existing stream of funds already in existence. We're not talking about a new tax. We're not talking about a new fee on anybody.
Okay.
That will work countywide statutorily, and will be open. You'll have representation from throughout the county, but you're also going to be having representation from existing business and industry. So that they'll be making sure that it is way easier to keep what you got than to try to recruit something new. And it's also, our existing business and industry is the best place to do some economic gardening, to go find out what widget are you having to pay X number of dollars more than you should, because the mobilization, like the shipping of it, is that, you're having to ship that in from California and you can't find it any closer. Why don't we work to recruit that company to open another location here, because you're one of their top customers? And so there's tremendous opportunity for that as well. But I believe that a countywide entity that has 5 branches, 5 arms, and that focuses on industrial recruitment, commercial recruitment, aeronautical recruitment. I would like the opportunity to invite tourism to become part of that holistic council, not touching any of their existing funding streams whatsoever, but to just be part of the overall council. And then we also have to look at housing. We don't have any residential development efforts going on that in the city of Gadsden anyway. There are some that are outside of the city, but planned residential growth is important. If we want to recruit people back to live in Gadsden, we're going to give them someplace they want to live.
Exactly.
And so in conjunction with that workforce development, we've really got to fortify our support with Gadsden State. The partnership between Gadsden State and Gadsden City High Schools is already fantastic. There are so many kids that are taking dual enrollment classes in technical, and they get those classes for free. If transportation's a barrier, we've got to figure out solutions for transportation. But I know they're doing a lot of dual enrollment on Gadsden City's campus. we've got to figure out how we're going to grow that, fortify that, make that even stronger. And that Center for Advanced Manufacturing is going to be key. And I understand there's already a strong agreement that there will be an even deeper partnership once that center is built.
All right. So, Ms. New,
Yes,
there's a few questions that our guests have. Um, One question, quite a few questions. Mr. Cole is asking, um, if you become mayor, would you be in favor of having a forensic audit? Would you have diversity in your administration, such as department heads?
So the first question, in favor of a forensic audit, possibly. And the reason I say that is because forensic audits are very expensive and very time consuming, and we need evidence to, there will be a deconstruction and reconstruction of the finance department, of the processes and the procedures, and technology, modern technology will be implemented. And that is going to happen very quickly after I take office. The process of that, if that indicates that something felonious has happened, most certainly we will go straight to, I will implore the council to approve the funds for a forensic audit. The reason I hesitate on that is I don't think it's fiscally responsible to allocate that kind of money until you have evidence that there has been, it appears to be criminal. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. And then,
Now, one thing that I've heard in you know in several conversations is that when administration that has been in place for a minute has been there, definitely when a new administration going in, that a lot of times that is what they do, because a lot of things could have taken place during the time of the administration, and you can only be, well, you only want to be accountable for what you have in your hands now.
correct.
And if you don't know what was done, then you're going in and take on something that somebody else probably have already done. And if you never do this, it could fall on you as if maybe something you done if you is in that position. So I can understand why they asking that question. And they also said, would you have diversity in your administration, such as department heads?
So, well, if you look at my life and you look at my history, definitely diversity is important to me. And I think that I'm not the person that's going to guarantee anyone a job. And no one, and let me repeat that, no one has been promised a job if I'm elected. Okay. No one has been offered a job. No one has been discussed.
That sound like that's out there in the air somewhere. Somebody promising some jobs.
Let me make this plain.
Let me make this plain. I'm not that person.
Promises of jobs. And so diversity is important to me. It is. And our community is diverse. I believe that at last census we're around 38% Black. And I think that in order to have an effective leadership, you need people that look like you, that have your life experience, that understands and can embrace the whole of our community. So let me start by saying that. But I'm not going to go anywhere near close to guaranteeing a particular percentage, or positions will be posted. The most qualified candidate will be selected, and I will be calling on people that have a wide range of audience like you guys to make sure everyone knows about these opportunities so that we can have diverse individuals that apply for and are interested in. And I think that's often where we fail is we post it on Indeed and we're like, the rest is not my problem. We have to be intentional. We have to reach out to a wide variety of people and make sure that it is well known that the opportunities are there so that we
So you're saying the most qualified person will receive the position?
Yes.
Okay. So what if, because I've heard this mentioned quite a bit in doing this current administration, 27 and 0. They were saying, all the department heads are Caucasian.
Right.
So regardless of if they qualified, you select them based on qualification. Color has nothing to do with it, right?
I'm 100% certain that there are people of color in our community that are more qualified than
I understand.
other people. So yeah, I think, the key is making sure that you are attracting the applicants, and that the people in our community that are qualified, the people of color in our community are well qualified. I mean,
Right.
there's no question of that. So
Okay.
that should not be an issue. When you select the best candidate, you're going to be selecting people of color because you're going to have people of color that are the best candidate.
Okay.
I don't think that, I think that's kind of disparaging to say that wouldn't be the case. That a white person would be more qualified. I don't believe.
Right. I got you. Ms. Kendrick says, I'm not understanding a lot of what you're saying. The status you mentioned about our middle and elementary school. When will our youth be prepared?
I don't. When will our youth be prepared for what?
I guess for the jobs. I think Miss Kendrick, when she mentioned about our elementary and middle school, she was saying, for as the building wise, the way the buildings are, is about time that we do some.
We've got to upgrade the facility.
Upgrade the facilities. Not our children.
No. Our children. Our children deserve to come to a place they're proud of. And then on top of that, when we're trying to recruit new industry and we tour, CEOs around, we want to be able to show them facilities that they want to send their kids to.
Right.
So, but when you're in second grade and you're going to class, and God love them, like the teachers, the administration, they do Oscar Adams looks like Disney World when you go in there. I love it, but you can tell they have just worked their fingers to the bone to make this facility look the absolute most joyful and best it can, and we got to help them.
Okay. Robert Hunter said a youth development and retention department would be helpful as well.
He's right. He's absolutely right. And economic development, and I might have to yell at my husband to grab my charger. I didn't know, my phone's just dying quick on me. In economic development, they teach us that if you want transformative change, you don't go ask us what we want. Yeah. You go ask 18-year-olds, 18 to 20-year-olds, because transformative change takes 20 years to happen. Right. If you ask me what I want, I'm 47. I'm going to be retiring, I hope. I was hoping he was listening to this. Oh, about to die, sorry. Blake. I think he went outside, and now I have my dog with me, sorry. I need my charger, please.
Here. Yeah, I'm listening. Come on now.
So, but yeah, it takes 20 years to make transformative change. And if we're interested in what I want, it's too late. It's too late for me. We've got to be talking to our youth and asking, why don't you stay? What would make you want to stay? What jobs would you want here? What amenities would you want here? What kind of housing do you want here? And that's what we've got to be building toward.
Yeah. Joseph Cole.
The other part of it is they don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to Robert. They want to talk to somebody closer to their age.
Right.
And so if you really want them to feel like that they matter, that you care, you gotta send someone that looks like them. I got way too many wrinkles. They're not interested in talking to me.
Yeah. Joseph Cole said, I would like to hear her commit that her cabinet would be diversity. In 140 years, has only been 2 African-American department heads.
Well, I think that's an easy commitment to make if I have a commitment from you all that you're going to help me find candidates.
Find the right people.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that we need to be given the opportunity, but I don't think you just give somebody a job just because of color. Martin Luther King said it best. I don't want nobody judging me by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. Well, we got to find people that will apply for these jobs that are qualified, you know. Uh, and I'm African American, and I say that we don't need to just give a job to someone just because they black or brown.
Right.
And I'll say that
Yeah.
in the audience full of African Americans, we got to have qualified people. We got to have people that's qualified that is applying. We got to have people that want these jobs, you know. And I know a lot of time. I was just on the job today. There was a young lady and a man. Actually, it was a Caucasian a man who jumped up in this African American woman's face and put his hand in her face and told her to shut up 4 times. So I go to check on her after I hear about it, and I'm angry because I don't like nobody talking down to a woman. So after I get angry and we all discuss it, the woman, everything is forgiven on her end. She dropped the charges on what she was going to do to the man. And see, what happens is we go get in trouble trying to defend someone, and then the very one you defending don't want to be defended, or they'll turn on you, you know. And so you be like, man, what in the world is, you know? So my thing is we want our young men and young women given the opportunity, but they have to take advantage of it. We definitely have to. They definitely have to take advantage of it. Let's see what Joseph Cole is saying. African Americans never gets jobs because they're African Americans. African Americans have to be qualified to get hired. Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah.
I like her playing. People got to get the skills. Advanced manufacturing is the future.
So Michael is someone that I've met through this campaign, and an incredibly impressive youth in our area. You know, the education, the history that he has there. I mean, he's looking for an opportunity. He's looking for an opportunity to use his full talent, and that's, you know, that's what, when people say we just don't have that here, we don't have the talent here. Yes, we do. I've met them. Michael Robinson, DeMarcus Thornton. Holy cow, talk about someone that'll blow your mind. He's a serial entrepreneur that, you know, that is doing incredible work now with NIL. Just the more people I meet, the more I'm reassured, the more I'm reaffirmed. We have immense talent here, and people that would like to come back.
Yeah.
Just got to give them something to come back for.
Now, LaShonda, Denise, she's concerned about higher paying jobs, or she said, or will you continue to make this a retirement city? And that's a young person who look at this city as pretty much this is the place where people come to retire.
That was a concerted effort. I think 20, 25, 30 years ago. You know, all the backs of the Osborne trucks said retire to Gadsden, and when I first came to the chamber, that was one of their initiatives, and I was very fortunate that I had a board that listened to me, that we didn't need to be actively recruiting retirees. I mean, we were sending postcards to people in Florida. You're not going to move back here from Florida. You retired to Florida already. There is an economic advantage to recruiting retirees, but not to the level that you have when you recruit talented youth. Talented youth will grow their career. They'll put their roots down deep. They'll invest in your community much greater over the span, over the time frame. Their earning capacity is going to increase each year. And with retirees, it's a fixed income. Even if it is a good income, that's not an income that's going to increase, especially as you see inflation or things like that happen. So recruiting youth and vibrancy, that's how a city lives. That's how a city grows. That's how it expands. Eventually, you know, it's not, I'm not trying to degrade anyone, but, you know, a lot of times a retiree population has a lot more medical need. And so you've seen one of our biggest sector of employment is healthcare. And healthcare is a good industry. It's a clean industry. It's usually high paying jobs, but we've got to rejuvenate our population. we're decreasing every year.
Yeah.
And
Especially with the loss of Goodyear, we saw a lot of people leave this city.
my,
Marcia Kendrick actually is want to add to that question that she was asked. She said, "I realized that she was talking about buildings, but will you work closer with the school system to make
absolutely.
sure the technology is there in middle and elementary schools?"
Absolutely. We should be teaching our kids how to code in second grade. As soon as they can read and write, we need to start teaching them how to code because this is the language of the future. Coding is going to be integral in so many jobs and then in 20 years from now. When they enter the workforce, they're going to be at a deficit if they don't know how to write coding language. And so we need, and I know there are teachers that are already doing this on their own. At the chamber, I started a program called Excellence in Education where we recognize teachers and community partners and various people in the community that are doing excellent, innovative things in education. And seeing some of the things that teachers have submitted where out of their own pockets, they're buying things like 3D pens so that they can expand children's minds in as early as second and third grade. We need to be doing that. We need to be sold out for our kids. This is our future workforce. Our schools are producing a product, and if we chokehold our schools, that product is not going to be as consumable or as high quality as it would be if we poured into our schools. And that's not the children's fault. That's not the students' fault. That's not the teacher's fault. That's not the administration of the school's fault. That's our collective fault if we're not pouring into our educational systems.
So we'll ask quite a few questions, but let me ask, what is it that you want the people to know about you in your final closing comments? What is it that you want to say to our viewers?
Well, first, I hope that, I feel like I probably just touched on the iceberg. I can talk forever, and I apologize for that. If you'll go visit my website at www.electheathernew.com, my full platform, and I mean, it is extensive. My full platform is up there. It's been up there for 3-4 months now. I would love to have your feedback. You can find my email on that website as well. Email me and tell me you've got this wrong, or you need to add to this, or you got this right, and I'm 100% behind you on this. Give me your feedback because that's the only way we're going to move forward is if we all have input, and that input has to be embraced. We have to include every voice. So please go look at that. Please give me your feedback. I have a passion for Gadsden, and that passion is not going to die. It's not going to go out no matter what, and I am going to be here to help wherever I land. But I truly believe I've got the heart and the soul and the education and the experience to take us where we all need and want to go. And I need your help to get there. Your vote is critical to that. And I know we have wonderful people running in this race. Some of them are very good friends of mine, and I love them dearly. And they have incredible hearts. Our skill sets are just a little different. And I admire them because this is not easy. I knew before I went in that it wouldn't be easy. Anyone that puts themselves out there for this, you need to thank them, you need to commend them, you need to praise them because it is not easy. And it's a calling. I think every single person that has entered this mayoral race and in the council races as well, Miss T, like Bishop T, I commend you. It's a calling. You feel compelled. And so if I think the best thing you can do is just look at a person and find out what their motivations are, what their passion is, where their heart is, how they want to serve, and make your decision based on that. But if you feel like I am a candidate that can help you get where you're wanting our community to go, I need your help. And I need you to tell others about me and introduce me to more people.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming campaign kickoffs or anything, or do you have a time, place, and a date?
Yeah, tomorrow night, So this is perfect timing. Tomorrow night,
Perfect timing.
first Friday. The address is 423 Broad Street. For those that have been here forever, I think it was Hoffman's Jewelers a long, long time ago. More recently, I think in the 90s, it was Broad Street Basket Company. It is directly across the street from Gadsden Variety and Cafe. That's the campaign headquarters. We're going to have our grand opening tomorrow night. We're going to have T-shirts, signs, stickers, buttons, all kinds of fun stuff to give away. We'll be giving away some cold water because it's probably going to be hot. And just we'll have the doors wide open. We would love for you to come in and just meet and greet and get to know.
And give that address time again, and it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, 423 Broad Street, and the time we'll be there from 5 to 8.
5 to 8. And when you go, tell them you saw her on Real Talk.
Yes, please. I'd love
right.
to.
Okay.
Miss New, I do have one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that God has a sense of humor. So is it the comic in you, is that you, or is this just for the campaigning purpose? Or if elected, can we look forward to the same comical person that believes that God has a sense of humor?
I am who I am. I am who I am.
We heard it here on Real Talk. You are who you are.
Raw and unfiltered, and and I'm not always. I think sometimes some of the criticism of me is I might not be tough enough, and I think you could probably ask some folks that have worked with me or around me that I can be when I need to be. But no, this is who I am, and I don't have time to make up something else. I wouldn't remember how to play the different roles. I want to serve. I want to help, and I know I can do it. And so the way I see this is I'm interviewing for this job. I promise you this, I'm not going to fight anybody. I'm going to work. We're going to get there, whether we got to work with you, around you, through you, over you, under you. We're going to work, and I'm not going to fight. Right. We don't get anything. This is why we're where we are, because all we've done is fight. We fight with our state leaders, and we fight with our county, and we fight with our
councils and mayor and councils and council.
We're going to work. We're going to work, and it's going to be good. We're going to get
this to happen. And it sounds like as you work, you're going to have fun doing that.
Yeah.
And so awesome.
And that mentality trickles down. Right. You give somebody a place where they enjoy being, they're going to perform better. When you make life miserable, they're going to be miserable to the people they interact with as citizens or customers as well.
Awesome. Y'all go check out the campaign kickoff for Miss Heather New tomorrow downtown. She gave you the location and all the questions that you did not get in here on Real Talk. You can ask her personally when you see her on tomorrow. Tell her you saw her smiling and sharing right here on Real Talk, the best podcast on this side of heaven. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Have a great night and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Bishop.
Pastor T. Z. I said Pastor T. I meant Pastor Z.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Bishop Z.
Okay. Bishop Z.
It's been wonderful.
It has been. Enjoyed it always.
Right. And we look forward to talking to other leaders coming up, those that's running for positions. And we're going to talk to a former council person as well in the upcoming weeks. We want to wish all of you a happy 4th of July. It's coming up. And on next Friday, when we come on next Thursday, I want everybody to get your cash apps ready so y'all can send me my birthday gift, because July the 8th is my birthday.
July the 8th is your birthday?
July 8th is my day.
Wow.
Turned down for what?
You got a couple years on me, don't you?
I know.
Couple.
No. I'm 52. How old are you?
51.
I'll be 53. Have you had your birthday yet?
No.
It's coming up.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have a couple of years on you. I was always the same age as the class behind me until that summer. I graduated at 17.
I did too.
Well, it's been great, Bishop, as always.
Same here, Pastor Z.
The best co-host on this side of heaven. We see Francis.
Let me tell you something. Francis, let me tell you. Oh, you say he will be. Okay.
And you are 68, Bishop. Your anniversary, Tara. I hope you have a great, happy anniversary. You and your husband. Anthony said that his birthday is on the 9th. All right. Well, it's been grand, but we got to dot out the door. Until next time, y'all have a wonderful night.